Okay, I think we can get started. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to St. George's Cathedral in Kingston, Ontario. It's April the 23rd, 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And my name is Michael Capon. I'm going to be playing some music that we can all share in today. We're gathering as a virtual community for shared enjoyable experience in this time of isolation. Just a little caveat today, it's rather cold in here. We turned the heat off in the cathedral for springtime, and of course we got a real cold snap. So we're near the freezing mark in terms of temperature here, so I'm going to keep my little half gloves on here for playing today. Hopefully that'll help. Knitted by my dear sweetheart Georgina, so thank you Georgina for the gloves. But it also means that some of the tuning in the organ is a little bit off, so there might be the occasional note that's a little clammy, so I'll ask your indulgence for that as well. Those of you who tuned in last week will know that last week's program was a bit of a bust because of the failure in the organ. It wouldn't play. And I tried different things and it wouldn't work, so I had to switch to my stand-up comedy routine, which was a pale substitute. Anyway, I'm happy to say that the organ is working, functioning, all is well. So this program that I'm playing today is the program I was going to play last week. And my plan for that program was it was the week after Easter. The week of Easter, so it was very much an Easter-themed program. So in terms of my recitals, the week of Easter is delayed a week, so I'm going to play that today, celebrating Easter. Today also happens to be the feast of St. George, the patron saint of our beloved cathedral here. So we're thinking of St. George today as well. And St. George, of course, slayed the dragon and is a great hero and is remembered for speaking truth to power, for standing up to terrible monsters. We have our own dragon to slay these days, and we are inspired by the story of St. George. And in terms of Easter, we're also pleased with the resurrection of the organ. So lots of things to celebrate today. So we begin with the Bach D major Prelude and Fugue. And I chose this one as an Easter piece because it begins with a famous rising scale in the pedal. And I think of that as sort of rising to life and resurrection. The Fugue, by contrast, sort of doesn't go anywhere. The theme is just da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. But Bach is such a masterful storyteller that he weaves a delightful tale with minimal material. And it's so entertaining and delightful, it sets a really good mood. So enjoy. Here is the Prelude and Fugue in D major by J.S. Bach. great stuff. So next, we move on to from a faraway place in the distant past to our very own hometown in the present day. Our beloved David Cameron, who many of you will know, is a legend in the Kingston community, was for many years music director at Chalmers United Church, music professor at Queen's University, and a composer of note. We're very fortunate to have David in our community. He still is very active as a musician, organizing concerts, that kind of thing, still composing. And so I was inspired to do a piece of his called The Lord's Dance, which is a setting of the Simple Gifts tune, which was used by, I'm blanking on his name, Sydney. He adapted, Sidney Carter. He adapted it for the hymn, The Lord of the Dance, which is a well-known Easter hymn. And David Cameron wrote a setting of that. It's just rollicks along. It's a very delightful piece. And so I thought I would pair that with another piece of his called Cromorne on taille. And this is a lovely piece. It was published in the RCCO journal, Organ Canada. Interesting a little bit of a mix to this one, because the title, Cromorne on taille, is obviously a French title and reflects David's love of French classical organ repertoire. This is a texture that is typical in French classical organ music, where you have an accompaniment in the right hand and in the pedal, and the left hand plays the melody on the solo reed. So I sort of feel like this one is French classical meets maybe some Edwardian British influences as well as, of course, David's own particular style. This is one of the pieces where the Cromorne, some of the tuning might be a little iffy, so just pretend that everything's just fine and in tune. So a couple of pieces by David Cameron, the Cromorne en taille and the Lord's Dance. Thank you, David, for that lovely music. Hope you're able to tune in today. So I'm going to finish with some music of Louis James Alfred Lefébure-Wély. He's a French composer, lived firmly in the 19th century, born in the sort of early 1800s, died in the late 1800s. And there's no real connection with Easter or St. George other than that this music is really delightful. A few weeks ago I played some music that I said was not too schmaltzy, not too little schmaltzy, just the right amount of schmaltz. The music of Lefébure-Wély is too schmaltzy. It's like really out there. It's too much. It's really fun. And one of the pieces I'm going to play is the Andante de Choeur de Voix humaines, one of the favorite pieces of our good friend George Turcotte, who's a stalwart member of our cathedral choir here. He loves this piece, and it's the kind of piece that's liable to set him swooning. So George, if you are able to tune in today, please make sure you're sitting down for this one. I know you'll love it. So I'm going to play two andantes. One is simply an andante. It's a lovely, lovely piece. Second one is the Choeur de Voix humaines. The Voix humaines is one of the stops on the organ. It's a reed stop that supposedly sounds like the human voice. That's debatable. That one is typically used with a tremulant to give it a little bit of warmth. The tremulant is being a little noisy today, so I had to decide whether to use it or not. I decided to go ahead with the tremulant, so please excuse any little background noise from the tremulant for that one. And then I finish with the Sortie in E flat. So there is a bit of a connection with St. George in this one, if a tenuous one. The first time I heard this piece, I was on a choir trip in Bristol in England, and Malcolm Archer, who was the music director there at the time, played this piece after one of our choral evensongs, and we were all just blown away by it. We just couldn't believe what we were hearing, that a piece like this could exist. And so the next day, all of the organists in our group ran out to the local music store and bought copies. So the copy that I'm playing from is the one that I picked up in Bristol, England. A delightful, rollicking piece of just good fun. So hopefully it'll set us all in a good mood for the springtime and the warm weather that's sure to come. So here's some Lefébure-Wély, Andante, Andante, and Sortie in E flat. say after that? Hope you enjoyed the program today. Thank you for tuning in. I will perform again next Thursday. I'll just keep playing every Thursday at 12:15 p.m. as long as I'm able and as long as it is needed and as long as it helps. If you to find the link for the concert next week, just go to our website, stgeorgescathedral.ca. We'll post a link there every week for the concert. There's also information there about making a donation if you can support the cathedral financially. If you enjoyed the concert, we very much appreciate that. We have a Canada Helps page. We can accept email transfers, credit card over the phone, or check by mail. So check out stgeorgescathedral.ca for information about upcoming events. As always, I will be playing on Sunday as well for our Sunday morning online worship service, Sunday morning at 10:30. I'll be playing some Couperin this Sunday, I think. So you're certainly welcome to join us for that. So I look forward to seeing you at these future events. Stay well, everybody. Stay healthy. Stay strong. Courage. Goodbye. I'm going to go defrost. Man, it's freezing in here.